Sonny Stitt is so clear in what he plays and how he plays it. It's just incredible. And this is exactly why he's a great choice to learn from in the beginning, because of his clarity. Articulation, timing, and really great jazz phrases that you can pick off. Probably one of the most important things we can learn when we are playing jazz.
If I heard a lick that I like, I'd steal it.
Is stealing, borrowing, taking, integrating other people's lines, other great players' lines into our own playing. Just listening to the greats is an amazing lesson in how we can learn jazz, how we can phrase jazz, how we can articulate jazz. And exactly what Chris Potter says here.
There's just things that kind of sound right and things that don't, you know.
We need to learn what's the right sound and definitely what's not the right sound. Just learning the jazz language. In this process, what we really want to learn is integrate the listened to language, the learned language, integrate it into our own playing, that we can play those lines, make them our own and make exactly that sound a part of our own sound, and really get to know how the mechanics are working for us. Let's dive into this, but I want to give you a head start. Grab the lesson transcription right now, because then you can follow the text and you can follow the licks and the lines I'm playing. This is a huge advantage and makes the understanding so much more clear. It's just much faster. The PDF download link is below in the description. So we need to learn the licks of the listened material. So one of the important things when we're working with licks played by the greats is of course learning the licks. That's the first step, learn the lick. And I'm not talking about just learning the tones. I'm really talking about played hundreds of times, really deep learn it, learn the articulation, learn the timing, learn the phrasing. And in this part of the process, you need to own the material. That's how well you need to learn it. You must really learn the phrase inside out. You must have it in your fingers, you must have it in your ears, else it's impossible to get the step further. But a thing I want to warn you about is don't overdo it.
I didn't have the discipline to learn whole solos, really.
Because maybe you'll do as I, get frustrated to learn a whole solo and you have to play it perfectly. No, learn one phrase. Just take one phrase, learn that really well, because then you have useful material already in the first go. And really make a cost benefit out of this. Think about, hey, I want this phrase into my playing. Play 1 bar, 2 bars, and then dig into those, because the rest comes much easier. The second step is, what are you actually playing?
You just have to know where to put it and know how to resolve it.
And where do you put it? Where do you put it, like Chris Potter says here? When you have a lick or a line, it's very important to find a way how to use it. You must know where it belongs, where it fits into your music. So when you play a lick from someone, it must come from somewhere. In this case, Sonny Stitt on I'll Remember April. So we have the form and we have the chords of I'll Remember April. We know he's playing that F sharp minor B7.
That's kind of why I mentioned knowing the tune really well.
That's why Chris Potter is saying, know the tune. You really need to know the tunes you're playing. And this also means that you know where the Sonny Stitt lick fits. When we have the context, we can really start working deep on the line. Just to make it a little bit easier for myself or for you, I changed that last chord, that G sharp minor, into an E major, because that G sharp fits perfectly as the third of that E major, because now I have a 2-5-1. So when we have a phrase that's a 2-5-1, we can add it into all the places that are 2-5-1s. What you probably notice now is that I've added a little bit of everything into this line. So I added the first part from that original line and then taken the second part from that other line. Basically what you're already doing now is fitting the stuff together, because you know it all fits over 2-5-1. You're making your own lines already now. So the process till now is learn the lick till you really know it, and maybe even split it up that you get small parts easier to learn and easier to add into your own playing. And when you know what it is, when you know where to place it in the tune, you actually start adding it directly into the tune. And you start mixing it up, taking the different parts and adding them where you want them, making it fit into your playing. And in this way you get new beautiful phrases out of the same licks. There's a thing I really work a lot on, and that's flexibility. So you see this phrase, it's an enclosure, it's 2 arpeggios. So what I do when I get into trouble, or if I have something that I cannot figure out, I put it into a small exercise. because I want to be able to play it all over the horn. Even though I don't need it, I need to be able to execute it. So if I get an idea, I want to make new material, I have it already in my fingers. So you see that I made this little exercise out of the middle part of the lick. Just the 2 approach notes and then up the arpeggio. Again, if you look at the first part, you can make a new exercise out of this. And I really try to make the exercises simple because this is the first step. You can always make it more complicated. Take the parts out that are challenging, put them into the scale or chromatically or in whole steps, whatever you need, and then play them and practice them till you really know this little part. And then you see the last part of the lick, you can make an exercise out of that one too. So you're playing up this 6th chord. I'm making this as 9th chord. So going up the scale, it makes a clearer sound for me. Remember that all these exercises and a ton of extra licks is all in the lesson manual that you can grab and go. Go to the download link in the description and then you can get the PDF. It's right there. All the material is on Patreon. I think it's very important to know all 12 keys and I'll show you why right now. Looking at the form of I'll Remember April, you see that B part. You have 3 keys. In that B part you have 2 2-5-1s going into G, then you have 1 going into E, we know that one, and then we have 1 going into C sharp. So that's 3 keys right there in the same tune. So what I do is I want to train the licks in all these keys. I really want to be effective in my practice and have usable material.
I try to practice things that are going to be practical. Certain licks, I was talking about earlier, certain licks or certain phrases only sound good in certain keys. I'll learn them in every key.
Exactly what Michael Brecker is saying. So add the licks immediately into the tunes you are playing. Play different licks over these progressions. Is start listening, find great licks you want to integrate into your own playing and start practicing these licks. Learn them so well that you know them by heart. When you know them well, get them into the tunes you are playing and play them like they're your own. To really learn this method, I put all the exercises and all the licks into the PDF on Patreon. The smart thing I have done is adding a lick. You can play the lick, learn the lick, but then I've divided it into exercises that you can play afterwards, that you see how this connection is between the exercise and the licks. And of course on Patreon you can ask me all the relevant questions you have about music, about how to practice and how to get the step further. How about reaching your musical goals right now? Go on Patreon and join me. This video is about transcribing and getting a lot of new vocabulary. How do you really dig into solos of these great players? This is Hank Mobley and Charlie Parker showing us the way. Play music, have fun.